Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Edipo Kleber, an architect, and I want to ask you a question. What do you think will be trending in home decor next year? For us to use inside our home or for painting the outside of our house? What do you think is coming in terms of carpentry, flooring, painting, furniture, and so on? That's the topic of our video today, and I want to talk a little with you about it. What's trending? What will be the trend for next year? Hey guys, how's it going? Well, first of all, when we talk about trends, I just want you to understand that just because something is trending for next year doesn't mean that if you renovated your house last year, everything is going to be out of style. That's not it, okay? Don't think that a new trend, a new color, new furniture, or new flooring that some brand released and is a trend for next year means that what you just installed in your house is out of style or outdated. That's not how it works, okay guys? I want you to understand that the big brands, of flooring, paint, furniture, stonework, stone, and so on, they're always looking to innovate, always bringing new things. And this ends up creating certain trends in how things are used in construction and in home decor. And naturally, they need to keep reinventing themselves so they can give you and me options. That's really good because it brings more options for us, right? For example, you hire me to decorate your house, to create your home's design plan. I already have a range of examples that I can use, for example, for stonework in your house, types of stone. But if every year they release new models, won't it be even better for us to choose? Now, what I put in your project last year, it's not because they released others this year or next year that yours will become outdated. That's not it, okay? They're just suggestions. I don't want to start fights, cause interruptions, or create intrigue. I just want you to see these as options and suggestions for your house, which I'll show you now. First of all, guys, it's open concept, right? Integrating your living room and your kitchen, and even your living room and your balcony. Well, that's nothing new anymore, right? When we talk about it in the context of decoration, this is nothing new to anyone, integrating your kitchen with your living room. And especially your living room with your balcony, especially for those of you who live in an apartment. It's more common for us to do this in the project, integrating the living room with the kitchen and also the living room with the balcony when the project is for a client who lives in an apartment. Because usually apartments, especially nowadays, right, developers are increasingly making those little boxes, those really compressed little spaces. So we try to create this integration, and it's already a trend this year as you're watching this video. And it will also be popular next year. Creating this integration, making this union, integrating your living room with your balcony, going for that open concept, giving that sense of spaciousness to your living room by joining it with your balcony. You get it? Bringing your kitchen together with your dining room, for example, creates a nicer, more open look. Obviously, this is really useful in 90% of cases for people who live in apartments. People who live in houses usually have more space. They have more square meters available to do whatever they want, right? Usually a lot that's 5 by 20 or 25 meters. We can create beautiful projects, which isn't very common in apartments, where we usually work with 60, 70, or 80 square meters of space. And as architects, we have to make do, right? We have to be really resourceful to create this concept and make a great project for our client. So the idea of integrating the living room with the balcony, the living room with the kitchen, it's something that's been used for a long time, and it's being used a lot today. And it's the kind of decor trend that always stays popular and keeps coming back. Because it brings a solution for you if you lack space. I'll take it out here, okay? I want to set aside for a moment those big apartments. Apartments over 150 square meters, for example, because then the client, the resident, the owner of that apartment has the option to close off the balcony or not, right? To close off the kitchen or not, and so on. Because the apartment is big, right? But in smaller apartments, it's usually what we call an open concept layout, right? Joining the living room with the balcony, the living room with the kitchen, it's really cool. And there's one item here that I wanted to bring up right at the beginning of this video for you. So you can think that maybe it's really worth it for you to do this integration in your project, especially if you live in an apartment. Greige tones, guys, are a type of paint, actually a type of color that's really trending right now. We're using it a lot in current projects and it's coming on strong for next year. What are greige tones? I just want you to understand this illustration I'm going to show you here. Look, I've already shared some videos here on the channel about gray tones and beige tones, which you guys really liked. They got a lot of views, a lot of comments about the color combinations I shared in those videos here on the channel. By the way, let me take this opportunity to tell you something. I have two ebooks, one about gray tones and another about beige tones, okay? With some combinations you can use to paint the exterior of your house and the interior of your house, all right? These two ebooks are down here in the description of this video or also in the first pinned comment here for you, all right? So greige tones are a kind of middle ground, like I don't really like gray tones. Man, I see a lot of gray. It's at my work, it's at my parents' house, but in my house I don't want to paint in gray tones. Like beige tones, I think. I don't know, I like beige tones. Then came the greige tones, which are in between. In my opinion, they're in between. They're not gray and they're not beige, okay? There are greige tones that you look at and you say, this is gray, right? There are greige tones that you say, this is beige. Ed, you're just calling it greige to make it sound trendy, but it's not. This is beige. But guys, it's the manufacturers who release these colors. They bring us these greige tones, and I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like I told you, just because you use cinza chromio to paint the inside of your house, you used white and cinza elefante, papel picado, broto de feijão to paint the outside of your house. And now greige tones have come out, and you say to me, so my paint is outdated, it's out of style now. That's not it, guys, that's not it. Understand, these are options, colors that come to add to our portfolio to give us more choices to pick from. So your house, your taste, your flooring will never go out of style. If you like it, if it matches your taste, let me give you an example here. I really like to use very light colors to paint apartments inside, okay? Whether it's shades of beige, shades of blue, green, light tones. But then you go and use a vibrant color, you know? That shade, you know, that cheers people up, makes them alert. I might not like it, but if you do, it's your taste, it's your house, okay? I can give my opinion, but I can't force it on you who's watching me. I can't just say, no, it looks ugly. Right, it didn't look good and all. Let's go with this shade here. Look, put this shade here. That's not it. I don't want you to do that in your house. I don't want you to decorate your house based on my opinion. I want you to decorate your house with my tips, with my suggestions. That's why I'm making this video. It's to give you options. Just like I'm showing you the shades of greige here. Don't like the shade of gray, don't like the shade of beige. Let's go with the shade of greige, okay? In these two ebooks down here, there are also some colors in greige tones, which are very beautiful. They're options you can use to paint your house. So, keep that in mind. I don't want to impose anything on you. I don't want to tell you that you should do this or that. Quite the opposite. I'm just bringing you options so that you have a wider range of choices to define your project in the best way possible. The same tile on both the floor and the wall in the bathroom. In other words, you use not the same size of porcelain tile on the floor and on the wall, but the same model of porcelain tile. You know I'm a fan, and here's a recommendation, to use porcelain tile both on the floor and on the wall. We know it's a premium, pricier material than regular ceramic, so I can't use porcelain tile because it's more expensive. I'll go with a simple ceramic here too. It's nice, it's pretty, it's all good, all right? No problem so far. But what I want you to understand is, right, in this third item I picked out for you here about trends, okay, imagine that when you choose the floor color, I'll use the Calacata model here, okay? Calacata Altissimo, for example, which is a Bianco Grès style. Calacata Altissimo on the floor, always satin finish. Now, I'm going to tell you it's a matter of safety. You should use satin finish flooring in the bathroom, okay? You'll agree with me on that, right? Now, if we use satin finish on the floor, we can use polished on the wall. No problem at all. But on the floor, maybe we use 90 by 90. On the wall, you can use 90 by 90, or you can use 60 by 1.20. 60 by 1.20, the same model as the floor. So that's really cool, understand? Just because you put white tiles on your bathroom floor, it doesn't mean you have to put gray on the wall. Just because you put beige on your bathroom floor, it doesn't mean you have to put white on the wall. That's not how it works. It really depends on your taste. Hey, did you like your floor? Is there a version of that tile in a wall tile format for us to put on the walls? Yes, there is. You just have to choose, and it looks really nice. I have some recent projects that I did where we used it this way. The floor, 90 by 90 porcelain tile. On the wall, 60 by 1.20, but it's the same porcelain tile model. Only the dimensions changed, okay? So this is a trend. It's a decoration style that looks nice. It looks beautiful to use the same material, the same design, both on the floor and on the wall. And then you're free to play around a bit with the cabinetry, with the countertop of your bathroom sink. Use a darker or lighter material maybe, or the other way around and so on. So that's the concept, using the same design, the same style, but with different dimensions for the floor and the wall of your bathroom. Smooth ceilings. What are people asking me for the most? What are clients asking me for the most in current projects? It's to move away a bit from those cutouts in the ceilings, decorations mainly made of plaster, and to keep the ceiling smoother. So, are you telling me that my dropped ceiling detail here and my recessed light slot is out of fashion? No, quite the opposite. If you follow me here or if you're seeing me for the first time on the channel, you know that I'm a supporter of plaster decoration. On the ceiling of our living room, in our dining room, the dropped ceiling detail, a lit curtain recess, an inverted cove detail, a recessed light slot, I think it's all really beautiful. Whenever it fits in my projects, I include it. Whenever clients ask me, or even when I suggest it myself, I include it. But in the last projects I had and in the next ones we're already developing, all the ceilings are smooth. Really smooth with nothing, just the lighting. The light fixture in the dining room, the chandelier in the living room, the light fixture in the TV room, okay? Chandelier in the dining room, spotlights in specific places, right? Yeah, LED profiles too, which are really cool, but always a smooth ceiling. So why did I bring up this topic here? I'll repeat it again. I'm not against decorative plaster work. Quite the opposite, I'm all for it. I'm a big supporter of using plaster ceiling details in your home. However, what's being used the most nowadays is a smooth ceiling, and especially future projects are calling for smooth ceilings. So whether I agree or not, whether I like it or not, it's a trend that I need to tell you about, that I need to show you here in this video. Satin finish floors. If you enjoy satin finish floors, which are those more matte floors, believe me, they're being used a lot and will be coming on strong next year. Actually, satin finish floors have already been a trend for many years, right? So when we talk about installing, for example, porcelain tiles in our house, kitchen, living room, balcony, bathrooms, and so on, we usually recommend satin finish floors right away, right? But what about polished tiles? Aren't they nice? They're great. Polished tiles are beautiful if you put them in your house, right? A lot of people say that polished porcelain tiles are even easier to clean than satin finish porcelain tiles. I'd actually like to know your opinion, okay? Answer me here in the comments. I'm going to ask you a question now. Satin finish flooring is the one that's more matte, okay? It doesn't have any shine. Polished flooring, whether it's ceramic or porcelain, is the shiny one, the one you look at and it looks like a mirror on the floor. Which one is easier to clean? Is it the satin finish or the polished one? Let me know here. But going back to trends, out of 10 projects we do here at ARC7, in 8 of them, clients ask me for satin finish flooring instead of polished flooring. It's all about personal preference, okay folks? I'm sharing with you here experiences from projects I've done, that I'm doing and that I'm going to do, from clients. That's why I'm telling you this. What is a trend? In my opinion, mainly. What is it? It's what people are asking for. It's what people are seeing being launched and are requesting in their projects. And then I come back to tell you all again. The brands that develop flooring, wall coverings, paint, furniture, real estate, stone, they launch new models. And then it's up to us decorators to recommend to you the best product that you like and that fits your project. And the satin flooring is a product that has been used a lot for a long time and will be even more prominent in current and future projects as well. All right, guys, so check this out. These are tips, suggestions, and guidance that I'm giving you here that you can choose to use or not in your home. And I'll emphasize again, I'll repeat it here for you, and I want to make this very clear. What is being released for next year, what was released for this year, doesn't mean that what you put in your home 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 5 years ago is out of style. Obviously, we know there are products that nobody uses anymore in home decor, right? Nobody uses them anymore for obvious reasons, even for functionality reasons, right? And then, yes, they become out of style. We totally agree with that. Now, it's not because you used, for example, like I mentioned here in another video, a black countertop, right? Preto São Gabriel, verde ubatuba, black granite. If you use it for your countertop stone and you ask me, would you use it? It's not that I wouldn't use it, but if I had to choose or recommend, I'd pick a lighter color. Does installing it a year ago mean it's out of style? No, that's not it, okay? Understand your taste is different from mine. What's my role here on the channel? What's my role here in this video with these tips, with these suggestions that I'm bringing you? It's to give you options, to give you suggestions, to tell you, look, do you like the black countertop? You like it, but look, there's Cinza Absoluto, look, there's Branco Prime, look, there's Verde Ubatuba. I want to give you options so you can make the best choice about the style, material, and decor that will please you and look beautiful in your home. That's my main purpose and role here on the channel as an architect, decorator, and as a company, all right? I hope you enjoyed this content, these tips and suggestions. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and subscribe, all right? Show me some support. Also, leave your like for me, and I'll see you in our next video. Take care.